Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the summit. My name is Melissa Bright, and I am your co host today. And I am honored to be here with Agape Stasinopoulos. I'm going to first begin by reading a little bit about her, and then we will get started. Agape Stasinopoulos is a renowned author and speaker who captivates global audiences with her profound wisdom and infectious energy. Trained at London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and holding a master's in psychology, she infuses her teaching with rich insights from her diverse background. Agape currently conducts workshops for Thrive Global, a company founded by her sister Ariana Huffington, to help empower individuals and corporations worldwide to embrace self-care, gratitude, and love for enhanced performance and fulfillment. Agape is the author of several best-selling books, including Unbinding the Heart, Wake Up to the Joy of You, and Speaking with Spirit. Hello, Agape. It is wonderful to be here with you today. How are you doing?
Doing really great, Melissa. It's wonderful to see you. It's been a while, and I am so thrilled and excited to share with the Wisdom for Life the best year of your life and all about love.
Yes, that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Our theme for today is relationships and communication, creating deeper, meaningful connections. So, Agape, you know that meaningful relationships are a cornerstone to a fulfilling life. So, to really set this stage, how do you define what a true meaningful connection is, and why is it so important to our well-being?
Okay, so let me start by one of my favorite quotes. I wrote this book, as you know, Speaking with Spirit, 52 prayers to guide, inspire, and uplift you, which was all about connecting and opening your heart to connect with the Spirit and the divine. And the opening quote is, "And did you get what you wanted from this life even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on this earth." Raymond Carver.
That is a beautiful quote.
So to me, Melissa, that's what really sums up what we're here to do. You know, we have to start from the foundation about relationships of what is our purpose here on this earth. And I really do think our purpose is to find out that we are loved, that we are cherished, that we do matter, and find out how to open our hearts and share that love to ourselves, first of all, unconditionally. You know, agape means unconditional love, right?
Yes.
So I feel this is what I came here to learn, how to be unconditionally loving to myself, and then how to open up to share that with others. Now, when we look at most of our lives, there are areas in our lives that we've come to heal, whether it is in our DNA, whether it is in our own psyche, or whether it is with our parents, or things that happened to us in childhood, or things that happened to us in school, or our first love, or our second love, or marriages, or divorce. So in the fabric of our consciousness, we get to experience hurt, disappointment, and we shut down. We get to experience what we call the negatives of life. And we get to experience some of the positives, but then most of us shut down our hearts. And we start to forget that we are here to learn how we are to be the beloved, how we are to feel the loving for ourselves. So the path to opening and unlocking the door to connect back to your authentic self and to make the primary relationship with yourself and not blame anyone else is it's not an easy path, Melissa.
I know.
You agree?
I agree wholeheartedly.
And nobody really teaches us in school or in college that we are here to solidify one relationship, and that is the relationship with ourselves. to solidify it on all aspects. And what happens is we shut off and then we start to feel separate.
Yes.
We start to feel this horrible feeling of separation and that other people have more than we do, or they know more, or they're happier than we are. And we walk around feeling disconnected, and then we try to connect, in the primary love relationship or with friends, but it doesn't always work out because our relationship with ourselves needs to be healed, and we need to get to know ourselves. So it's a curriculum. And that's why I love that you're doing this incredible summit about the best year of your life, because to get to know yourself is a process of actually discovering you, because we do think we know ourselves, but we even hide ourselves from ourselves. So how do you communicate with all parts of yourself? How do you communicate with the young part in you? How do you communicate with your high self? How do you communicate with your soul, your spirit, the wounded part in you? How do you communicate with the part that wants things and doesn't know how to get them? So opening up that dialogue is something that we need to say, that's my most important thing. How do we do that practically? You keep a journal. You ask yourself, you keep a journal and a fabulous pen you love, and you talk to yourself. Conversations with yourself. And you start to reveal the vulnerable parts of yourself to you. And you start to say, this is what I want, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Because when we start to say, well, my parents did this, and my boyfriend did that, and my boss did this, and my children did that, and we start to blame and we put the energy on other people, then we're not taking responsibility that every relationship, Melissa, every relationship is a mirror to healing parts of our own consciousness.
Yes. I love everything that you said. And the biggest part of that is kind of showing people what happens when we do shut down.
Yes.
We think that, we're not loved. We have to hide ourselves. We have to hide from ourselves, right? There's kind of this process that we start to do.
Yes.
So you already mentioned a little bit about, so many people do struggle with feeling lonely and disconnected,
Yes.
even when we're surrounded by others. So what do you think causes these feelings? And are there any other ways we can start to address these?
Definitely. And I think we judge the negative. Let's say you are jealous of seeing other people getting what they want, and you start to shut down. Even just acknowledging and saying, I'm jealous, I'm comparing myself, and I feel I don't really know to get what I want. So even just acknowledging that and saying, it's okay that I'm jealous. It's okay that I have hurt. It's okay that I feel left out. And once you start, it's also taking ownership of the parts of you that we judge as negative. And once we take ownership of that, I'm not saying it's easy. That's why I always suggest find someone that you can confide, that loves you, that you have a safe place. I mean, could it be a therapist? Could it be a coach? Could it be a good friend that is wise, an older friend, a mentor? Because especially when we're younger, I went through so much rejection as an actress because I wasn't getting the parts I wanted. And I walked around feeling rejected all the time, feeling less than, because I was talented. I had finished the best drama school in the world, the Royal Academy. I came to Hollywood. I wasn't getting any part. So I walked around feeling really neglected And I didn't know at the time how to communicate to myself. And then I embarked into a spiritual path. But it was a very grounded spiritual path. There were trainings and seminars. I did a seminar called Insight Transformational Seminars. And if anybody wants more information, please email me, agapi@unbindingtheheart.com. Insight Transformational Seminars changed my life because I started to, it's a 5-day course, and I started to address the part of me that felt separate, that felt neglected, that felt unloved, that felt other people had what I wanted, that felt less than. And so in remembering that that's not all of who I was and healing those parts, and in the seminar, you're reflected about your power, your inner power, your heart. So you open your heart and you say, well, I'm not just that. I'm a wonderful human being. I'm a loving human being. I'm someone who, and you start to create love in your life. And you start to create relationships that bring you joy, that bring you recognition. You know, there's nothing like having friends where people love you. Yeah. And once you open up your field, you see, if if you're sat down, you're going to attract people that don't see you because you're not really revealing yourself. But then once you open up your field, your energy, your heart, and you start to feel safe, you can have an incredible love affair with life. Because then it's almost like you go after the people that are your people instead of the people that are not your people. It's like for many years I went through unrequited love. I went after the relationships and the men that didn't work out, that were not emotionally available. And then I said, well, am I emotionally available to agape? Am I loving to agape? Am I forgiving? I have a sentence that I love, that I keep by my desk, that says, I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling jealous. I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling unworthy. I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling upset. I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling lonely. Because then you go, well, who is lonely in there? Yeah. And the part that says, well, I want to have more fun. I want to do things that are creative and expansive. I want to be successful in my life. And so when you want things that you're not getting, you start to create a feeling of loneliness.
Right. I love, you said, creating this acknowledgement. For me, I feel like acknowledgement is so powerful because sometimes when we feel this way, we feel jealous. We feel like to say those words out loud, I'm not getting what I want. And that makes me mad.
Yes. Beautiful.
Like, it makes it seem like we're some type of like bad person. Like we shouldn't be saying that. We shouldn't be thinking these things.
Exactly.
That sentence that you said, I forgive myself for judging myself. That is so powerful because when you can, when you can honor all those emotions, those feelings, that
and
can
then,
really start.
Melissa, really opening up to love yourself, opening up to really be sweet. How do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to yourself? How do you look in the mirror and you say, God, there is a human being here. There is a soul. There is a light. There is a young person. There is a human being that is been bestowed to me. And my responsibility is to take care of this human being like I would take care of a best friend, somebody I really love. Treat yourself as if you were someone inexpressibly lovable to you. Inexpressibly, when you appreciate somebody so much, if we treated ourselves like that, because most of us are so critical of ourselves. If you dissect our thoughts, we have 70,000 thoughts per day, and 50,000 thoughts of those 70 thoughts are supposed to be negative. So what do we say? We say, "Oh, you're not good enough. You don't deserve that. You're never going to get that. You're not like so and so. You're not like," and you are this jewel of a human being. I mean, there is only one Melissa in this world. And anybody who is listening, look around. There is only one of you, older, younger, able to create the relationships that you want. So you have to start fueling yourself. You have to start putting the fertilizer in yourself. You have to start navigating your energies and track the negative thoughts. If the negative thoughts are bringing you down, that means you have to start reversing them. Now, how do you do that? You write things down and you say, I forgive myself for judging myself, for belittling myself. How many times have we gone to events or parties and we felt alone, right? And we felt, this person I wanted to talk to, but they were talking to someone else. You feel insecure. Yeah. Well, what would happen if you said, I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling insecure, and I am more than my insecurities. I'm not my insecurity. So, okay, this person didn't talk to me. This person didn't approve of me. This person talked behind my back. Things are going to happen in relationships where you are going to have to come back to you and learn to heal those hurts, to heal those disappointments, and to start creating relationships that are really treasure you. But first, start with the man in the mirror. Isn't that Michael Jackson song?
Yeah.
Man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. Imagine I always say, take your iPhone or your Android phone, whatever you have it, turn it on the camera, turn it into looking at yourself, right? Like,
yes.
Yep. And you say, hi, I'm here for you today. What do you want to create? I love you. I love you. You're my best friend. And look at yourself and really mean it. And I am your best friend. And you can tell me anything, and I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you the way we walk, the way we treat ourselves, the way we eat, the way we exercise, the way I spend time with people that I love, rather than time with people who deplete me. I learn how to say no. I learn how to sleep well. I learn how to be tender with myself. I learn how to feel worthy of being supported. I learn how to ask for what I want, and even if I don't get it, at least I ask for what I wanted. I learned by being authentic with people. I learned by listening to myself, and if I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I can get up and leave. I walk with myself, and I say self with a capital S, capital E, capital L, capital F. Walk with yourself. Because, Melissa, we have a spirit in us, and it is the human part and the human track, and then there is the masterful part in us, which is the divine part, the soul, the spirit. And that spirit loves us. That spirit is loving. So when I opened my heart to that spirit through my books, and I wrote this book, as you know, during the pandemic.
Yes.
This book brought me deeper into my spirit because I was suffering and I was feeling really, there were no people there was FaceTime and there was Zooms, but there was no interaction. And me as an extrovert, I felt so desolate and like I was being punished. And it was a very, very difficult mentally, a very difficult time for me. And as I was writing the prayers and as I was writing and I was getting quieter, I opened up to my spirit that kept saying, but I am here. I am breathing you. The earth is still going around in the space. And it's everything in you is alive. Your cells are alive. I am in you, breathing you, giving you life. Come to me.
Mm.
And that got me to come deeper into myself. And that got me to open up my heart more to myself. And every day now, I need to commit to do that, because the human journey is valleys and mountains.
Yeah.
It's not an even platform path, right? Do you find that?
No, not at all. It is definitely a roller coaster. That is no doubt.
But
Yeah.
there is the wings beneath your sails,
Yeah. Mm.
and that's the spirit. And when we have, and we open our wings and we open our field of energy, even now as I'm talking to you, open up your fields of energy and start to receive more of the spirit of who you are.
Yes.
Because you are not your unworthiness, and you are not your complaints, and you are not your irritation, and you are not your bank account. There is this wonderful quote. It's by Joseph Campbell, The Power of Myth. He was the famous psychotherapist. And this is what he says: you must have a room or a certain hour or so a day where you don't know what was in the newspapers that morning. You don't know who your friends are. You don't know what you owe anybody. You don't know what anybody owes to you. This is a place where you can simply experience and bring forth what you are and what you might be. This is the place of creative incubation. At first, you may find that nothing happens there. But if you have a sacred place and use it, something eventually will happen.
Oh, that is a good quote, and I cannot recommend that enough, doing that.
Because, whether you call it meditation, I call it spiritual exercises, but it's the time where you go beyond your thoughts, you go beyond your emotions, you go beyond the Melissa-ness and the agape-ness.
Yes.
There is my agape, and there is my story, and there is in my day, there is a lot of me that's happening. But then you take half an hour or 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 10 minutes. It starts with something, and you go into a place and you come quiet, and we can do it right now together. You come quiet, you come into your heart, and you feel your breath. You can put your hand in your heart, you can put your other hand in your belly, and you start to feel the inhalation and the exhalation. And you start to feel a certain awe of your breath. Oh my God, I'm being breathed. Oh my God, I'm alive. Who is giving me life? Who is breathing me? And you receive the breath. And your brain and your thoughts can go on about that you have to do that and you didn't do that and who said what. And when you looked at something that disturbed you, when you look at your email list and you feel that you haven't met your deadlines and whatever it is, you just go beyond all that. It's like you pull yourself, you zoom out of yourself. There you go. You zoom out and you ask from your heart, Spirit Divine that lives in me, open up my energy, open up my energy field, open up my heart, open up my consciousness, open up my mind, and let a sweetness of myself and the Spirit in me envelop me, fill my heart. And come into the presence of my goodness, come into the presence of who I truly am. And wherever this energy takes me, I go. And you exhale. And you take again a deep, long, slow breath. And you can bring the light into your consciousness. You can bring a white light, a pink light, a purple light, an iridescent blue, a beautiful emerald green, a yellow, and orange. Bring colors into your mind's eye. And in your heart, just have a prayer revealed to myself of who I truly am instead of who I think I am. And you just be. You just allow yourself to be. And in that beingness, the thoughts, the insecurities, the feelings of lack disappear. Because who you are in your essence is way more than any of that. And you see yourself smiling inside and outside. And you make a promise to yourself to return to that place often till you build your spiritual muscle. It's a muscle. Exhale. Thank you.
Thank you for that meditation. It's beautiful, and I can't recommend doing these spiritual exercises because you will return home to yourself.
That's right. Exactly. And
it's so important.
Again, I want people to email me agape@unbindingtheheart.com. I will send you some of those meditations that I've done as my gift, and then you can download all 33 of them for my book, Wake Up to the Joy of You, on Audible. And there are 33 meditations, just the meditations that can help you shift, because we all need to shift from the negative to the positive. It's a daily exercise. It's a daily process.
Yes. So it sounds like, some of this stuff that you are saying about how we can start to love ourselves and to, get back to who we've always been, but maybe, things have just gotten in the way and made us convinced that. So
yes,
it really sounds like some of this stuff can really start to be internal patterns. And this is really how it starts to take shape.
Cement itself. Yes.
Exactly.
You have to chisel them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes it hard to be able to relate to others. So how can people become more aware of any of these beliefs or fears that might be limiting them to form these deep connections with others?
Well, just to start with, free from writing and writing in a journal is a great process to start unlocking parts of yourself.
Okay.
Chris Martin from Coldplay, who I love, I don't know if you are a fan of Coldplay,
Yes.
says that every day before he gets out of bed, he writes for 12 minutes straight from his unconscious as he gets up, and he dumps out all the negative things. So, and then he takes the papers and he might burn them or tear them apart, throw them in the garbage. But the process of just writing things down is really an incredible way to dump the unconscious, because we don't really know what's going on in the unconscious. And you can start by saying, feeling anxious and insecure or feeling worried. And then you just write. You just don't censor it. You write anything. It could be something have you ever had dreams and you go, my God, who dreamt that? That's incredible. Who was visiting me at night? And you feel like this is your reality, which is a very different way of the reality of your dreams, right? So we have levels of consciousness that we don't really understand, but making them more conscious, taking the unconscious and making it conscious. Again, Carl Jung said, it's not about the light. It's more about having the ability to really become more conscious of the patterns that plague us, And once you write them down, again, not judging them, I believe very much, in taking courses that really help you become aware of your patterns and your emotional patterns. I mean, you can listen to podcasts, you can read books, you can listen to meditations, but you need to be active in becoming aware and conscious of your patterns. As you said, they cement, they kind of come into your brain and they cement themselves in it. And it's brain waves. It becomes, locked into your neurons of your brain. And then you think you are that. Fears, for example. I mean, how do you go beyond your fears? But write them down. And then there are so many techniques and there are so many courses that we can take that can start birthing the parts of yourself that hurt and birthing the parts of yourself that can heal that with your loving, And there are amazing spiritual teachers out there, that, but again, how you unlock yourself is a commitment and a devotion of saying, I am not just who I think I am. Even just starting by that and just accepting that and saying, I will start unlocking those patterns. I'm not my patterns. And that everything that is happening around me is a mirror to discover myself.
Awareness is always the first step. That's the first step to anything.
Exactly. Exactly. The awareness of your beliefs, your limitations, your judgments, your shutting off. Again, I keep coming to this shutting down on yourself.
Yeah.
And again, I love this seminar that I did, these insight seminars, because there's 1 and 2 and 3. It's called the awareness of the open heart. Because once you go inside and you open your heart, wow, it's like the tsunami of love, and you need the energy sometimes of a group energy, Melissa, because in the group, one person unlocks and then another person unlocks and then another, and you go, wow, I'm unlocking too.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So, Agape, if someone feels stuck in building meaningful relationships, what is one piece of advice or a simple practice that they can really start building today to start to create deeper connections in their lives?
Well, it's got to start with yourself.
Okay.
It's got to start with having a deeper connection with yourself. Because when you go to connect with someone else and you're disconnected with yourself, you don't know how to connect.
Yep.
So how do you connect with a part of you? For a very long time, when I was finished drama school and I was working as an actress, and then I was trying to produce movies and television series, and I was walking around with a knot in my stomach. And because there was this adult in me moving forward in life, but there was this kid in me that still had a lot of hurt and felt very unacknowledged. And I kept looking for recognition out there, but it wasn't coming. And at some point, I did a very beautiful thing. I went and got myself a beautiful ring, which I still have, and I went and married myself. And in that marriage, I told that part of myself, whatever you're going through, I'll be there for you. And whenever I go out into the world, I'll take you with me. So it was a process of total commitment to myself and totally acknowledging that there was an adult agape and a younger agape that was being ignored and pushed aside, and she felt abandoned. Now, I could say I'm abandoned by the guy I was dating, or I was abandoned by my father, or I was abandoned by my friend who moved out of the country to another school. I mean, it could be endless of what out there, but I had abandoned agape. So in that self-abandonment, I found that if I had to go down there and meet her and love myself and be so compassionate to myself. And that ring became a symbol. Every time I went out into the world, I wore that ring. And I said, I'm with you. You're never going to left behind. It took me a good year to build that relationship with myself. And once I built it, I felt liberated. And then so able to be in relationships with others. It was amazing because I was in my power when I was with other people. I felt intact. I felt whole. And I wasn't going like a beggar, like, do you like me? Do you want me? Can I hang out with you? I'm all alone. I'm lonely. What about, do you want to be with me? I mean, it's more like becoming so needy as we do.
Right.
But this was like, oh my God, I just love being with agape.
Right.
It's a process, it's a journey, but it's worth embarking on the journey. The greatest love of all is the love you have for yourself. And that's not narcissistic and that's not selfish. That means when you open up those channels, it flows to everyone else. And it is moment by moment because things happen every day. And whether it is you commit to do the things, whether it is you're reading the book or you're going to dance classes or you're going to yoga or you're doing meditation, but make it all about getting to know you. And spirit, trust me, will guide you. And you might just open up a book in the perfect page and you go, oh my God, that was for me. Or you might hear about a course, or you might meet somebody at an event or a party, or in your office, someone might walk in and you have that connection and you go, that person brought me a message. So this is the message. Open up yourself, know you are a work in progress and you are a masterpiece at the same time.
That is beautiful. And I love the symbol of the ring. Having a symbol somewhere as a reminder to yourself of your love, of your commitment, is probably one of the greatest ideas I've heard of. Like, that's such a wonderful idea.
Absolutely. Have a ring. Have a ring. Buy yourself something that you literally, as you put it on, because the ring is so symbolic.
Yes.
When we get married, we go, I vow that I will be with you and take care of you and to death do us part. Well, that's the same. That's you.
Exactly.
Because you are going to be with you till death do us part.
Yeah. So, Agape, as we finish up our time together today, you have given such wonderful advice. What is one other thing, a piece of advice you could share with our audience so they could have the best year of their life?
Well, I'm going to read you one of my favorite Rumi quotes. There is a candle in your heart waiting to be kindled. In separation from the friend, the divine friend that you're part of, there is a cut waiting to be stitched. Start your journey now. Oh, you are ignorant of endurance and the burning fire of love, but love is in you, lives in you as you. Love comes of its own free will. Invite it in. It can't be learned in any school, in any books. Invite it in and open your heart every day, every moment to love.
Thank you so, so much for sharing that. I love the invitation to let it in. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa. And get yourself a ring and get yourself a beautiful picture of yourself and look at it every day and look in the mirror and dare to say, I want to know you. I love you. Tell me more about you. Tell me more. And I will be your best friend. And I vow to take care of you forever. Listen to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Agape, where can people find out more about your work? I know you mentioned a website earlier, but just so people have that.
wakeuptothejoyofyou.com.
Okay.
Agape Sees, SES on Instagram, and Agape Stassinopoulos on Facebook. But my website has all my courses and all my meditations. Wakeuptothejoyofyou.com. And agape at unbindingtheheart.com is my email where you can contact me and I'll send you my meditations. And then, of course, all my books are on Amazon. And a lot of people keep them by their bedside and open them at any page. And you get to tap into what you need to hear for the day. So stay close. If I can help share my knowledge and my path and where I got all my information, trust me, I am an open book. I'll share everything, as you know, Melissa.
Yes.
People can really get support and comfort and feel more free and liberated and not feel in pain. That is one of my greatest vocations, to be able to help others liberate themselves like I went through the journey of liberation.
Right. Well, we are so grateful for you, Agape. It is such an honor to have you for our summit. So thank you. This conversation was wonderful. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Melissa, always for your sweetness and your loving and your generosity and your listening, which is amazing. Thank you so much. See you soon. The best year of your life, everybody. Let's do it. Let's love ourselves so much that it becomes the best year.
Yes.
Wonderful.